Hi, Langlade families. We are going to continue reading Because of the Rabbit by Cynthia Lord, and we are on chapter 7. Rabbits are the third most surrendered pets to animal shelters, behind dogs and cats. When I got off the bus, Dad, Mom, and Owen were sitting in the rocking chairs on the porch. As I walked down the driveway, Mom held up her phone to take my photo, but I didn't have any smiles left in me. So I pretended I didn't see her and looked at Dad's truck in front of the barn. Last night when I went on with him on his call, I had such high hopes for today. "Welcome home," Dad said, grinning. I dropped my backpack onto the front steps and burst into tears. Rocking chairs squeaked, and then I felt Mom's arms around me. "What happened?" she asked softly. I was embarrassed to be crying, but it felt so good to be hugged and to bury my face in her shirt. My answer came out in pieces. "Everything." "Come on, Em," Dad said, picking up my backpack. "Let's get you something to eat and you can tell us. Owen and I have been eyeing that blueberry pie all day, but we waited for you to have a slice with us." The pie did make me feel a little better. At least I wasn't hungry on top of everything else. And being home, where I didn't have to try so hard, was a relief. I felt the day melting off me like dirt in a hot shower. It was so hard to make friends. At recess, I just sat and watched other kids play kickball because I didn't have anyone to hang out with, I said between mouthfuls. My apple rolled across the cafeteria and the lunch lady yelled at me. Then, when it was time to go home, I couldn't remember which bus was mine. I had to ask Shauna from homeschool group to help me figure it out, and she's only in 3rd grade. "I'm sorry you had a hard day," Mom said. "How were the classes?" I shrugged. "Okay, but I just got going with one thing and then it was time for something else. Math was easy and social studies will start off as a repeat, but I didn't finish the page of science questions, even though everyone else did. I spent too long thinking about the questions. I have to do a group project with some kids too. We have to introduce each other to the class using the game Two Truths and a Lie." "Well, there's a chance to make a friend, right?" Mom said. She sounded hopeful, like I had felt this morning. I sighed. "I tried, but I don't think I can do this. I thought I was ready, but it's harder and less fun than I thought it would be. Maybe public school just isn't for me." "You have to give it a chance," Mom replied. "It's only been a day." "Wait, what?" That wasn't what I thought she'd say. "But when I said I wanted to go, you said it was my choice," I said. "Remember? You even seemed a little disappointed that I wanted to go." "That's because I knew I'd miss you," Mom said. "But you can't choose to give up when something gets hard, Emma. Everything has hard parts, especially when it's new. So we can talk about it after you get through those first hard parts." "But how long will that take?" I asked. "I don't know," Mom said. "Certainly more than a day." Owen nodded, but I looked away from him. I wanted him on my side. That's when I saw the pet carrier beside the door, a rotten cherry on an already terrible day Sunday. In the relief of being home, I'd forgotten we were taking Lappy to the shelter. Carrying Lappy, I followed Dad across the parking lot to the Rangeley Animal Shelter. In the race, both excited and scared had sat down on the sidelines now. Sad was the only one running. Lappy put his paws up on the side of the pen when I went to get him, so happy that I was home. Holding him had made the whole day better, but then I had to put him in the carrier. The shelter's lobby was bright with orange puffy chairs. There were colorful displays of leashes and collars, pet beds, and bags of food for sale. Soft music was playing, but a few dogs were barking somewhere beyond the doors. Behind the counter, a woman smiled. "Good afternoon. Can I help you?" "My daughter and I rescued a stray rabbit last night," Dad said. As I lifted Lappy out of the carrier, the woman smiled. "What an adorable bunny! It's not easy to tell exact age with rabbits, but he doesn't look very old. Maybe a year or two. Let me check the lost pet database and see if anyone has reported a gold-colored bunny missing." As she typed on her computer, I stroked Lappy. I wanted my hands to remember everything about him, the size of his paws, the roundness of his back, and how his ears felt like soft flower petals. I had wanted to believe that Papier had sent Lappy to me with some rabbit magic for my first day of school, but today hadn't turned out anything like I'd hoped, And now, even Lappy was leaving me. There was a hamster in a cage along the wall. Behind the cage was a window that looked into another room with more small animal cages. Inside one was a white rabbit. His cage didn't look big enough for him to jump or twist or run very far. None of the lost bunnies match yours, the woman said. So, what would you like to do? Do you want to surrender him to us? The word surrender did it. Lappy twitched as my tear hit his nose. Oh, Emma, Dad said gently, it's all right. I hate when adults say it's all right when you're sad. Some things just aren't all right. He won't be able to hop around in those little cages. Those rabbits get playtime outside their cage every day, I heard the woman say. We'll take good care of him, I promise. Hear that, Emma? Dad said. He'll get playtime. Can't we keep him, please? I was begging, but I didn't care. You and Mama won't have to do anything. I'll feed him. I'll clean up after him. I'll play with him every afternoon and every weekend so he won't be lonely. I talked super fast so Dad didn't have time to say no. It would make school lots better because I'd have something to look forward to at the end of the day. Please, please. The woman and I both waited for Dad to say something, but he just rubbed his chin, thinking. Finally, the woman said softly, Did you give him a name? Monsieur Lapin, I said quietly, but I nicknamed him Lappy. I knew with each passing second that Dad's answer was likely to be no. I kissed the back of Lappy's neck and concentrated on his smell, warm and rabbity. He doesn't know what's coming. When we walk away, will he think I didn't like him or that he did something wrong? Surrender is a terrible word. His name comes from stories my father used to tell, Dad said. He was a farmer up in Quebec. I glanced over and saw tears in Dad's eyes too. But this rabbit simply doesn't belong to us, Em. And right then I realized a funny thing about surrendering. Sometimes when you finally give up trying to make your first idea work out, you think of a second idea. I looked over at the woman. Could Lappy stay with us until someone claimed him? And if no one ever did, could we keep him then? She looked at Dad. I do check the lost pet listings every day. I could call you if his family reports him missing. Usually, though, if someone has lost a beloved pet, they report it right away. And for what I can see of his fur and nails, he's been on his own for a while. Dad took a deep breath. The woman gave Lappy a sad smile. The truth is, sometimes people get tired of taking care of pet rabbits and just let them go. They think they'll be able to survive in the wild, and that's not true. She turned to me. Rabbits can live up to 12 years, though. It's a real commitment. I promise I'll take care of him every day, I said. And if no one ever claims him, I'll still take care of him, even when I'm older and in high school. And if he can't come to college with me, I'll take online classes. Dad cracked a smile. You don't need to do that. But here's what I'm worried about, Em. It's harder to give up something the longer you've had it. If someone does claim him, you'll have to return him. Are you sure you want to take that risk? I nodded. He's completely your responsibility, Dad added. I nodded harder. Mom is going to kill me, he muttered. As Dad gave the woman our phone number, Lappy nuzzled against my neck. I laid my cheek on his ears. Even if I hadn't made a kid best friend yet, I had a rabbit one. My knees felt like collapsing from having something finally go right today. Maybe excited had just needed a break. Because suddenly she was back in the race, even if she was way behind and limping. Lappy was mine, at least for now. And that is the end of chapter 7.